Boy, oh boy, oh boy, there is another very serious Tesla Model Y competitor here, guys. And I'm talking 3 cars that will be in Australia within the next few months that will compete against each other, the similar segment, possibly similar prices. Which one is the best out of these 3? Well, the Deepal S07, you've probably never heard of this car before, but it's actually pretty good. And the reason I say this, no journalists have pointed this out. I'm not really sure why they should be. The most important part of any car, in my opinion, personal opinion, is the battery, right? The battery, the range, the charging speed. Sorry guys, there are jets flying by my house right now, as in fighter jets, fighter jets flying right by my house today. They're incredibly noisy. Deepal S07 has a battery pack that I find it weird that we've seen articles on this car in Australia here, no one's mentioned it. The new CATL battery that you probably need to know about. Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Fantastic to have you with me. The Australian car industry, the worldwide car industry is really heading up right now. And because Australia has no tariffs on cars from China, actually we have a 5% tariff on vehicles from Europe, but 0% on cars from China. So the Chinese are basically flooding in the Australian car market, which is great for consumers. XPeng's new G6 is going to be under or around about 60,000 or just under for the long range version. If you want to get that car, by the way, guys, you need to order it, I think, now, because I think they're going to sell out for 12 months. Once this price has been officially revealed, I honestly think you won't be able to get one for at least a year, because they'll be so popular at the price. Basically the specification of the price that they are it's almost unbeatable. Well, it is unbeatable. So if you do want to place an order, I don't get anything from this, by the way. I'll put a link in the description below that will give you a $1,000 home charger for free, installed for free as well, along with the G6. Now, it is a refundable deposit, a $1,000 refundable deposit. So if something else comes out, like the Tesla Model Y Juniper comes out and you want to change your mind, you can. I don't think you will, but you can. The Deepal S07 has CATL's new Shenxing Battery, a lithium iron phosphate battery with the highest energy density of any battery in the world. Actually, it has a higher energy density than Geely's golden battery, the golden brick battery, which is actually the Aegis short blade battery. Weird, isn't it? They've got so many different names for it. Golden brick, short blade, Aegis battery. There's 3 different names, confusing. But anyway, that's a lithium iron phosphate battery with 192 watt hours per kilogram of energy density. Fastest charging, it can charge at a rate of about 600 kilowatt, just over 600 kilowatt, which is unbelievable. But the Shenxing battery from CATL doesn't quite charge as fast, not quite, about 550, but it does have higher energy density. It has 205 watt hours per kilogram of energy density, meaning that right now at this point in time, this is the highest energy density LFP battery you can actually purchase on the market. Deepal's S07 is apparently coming to Australia. It starts in China. The electric version, there is a hybrid version, a plug-in hybrid version, that starts at $20,000 US. The electric version in China starts at $23,500 US. Now, I don't think that base model specification is coming to Australia. There is a more expensive version for $24,900. Then there is a mid-spec long-range battery version for $27,650. And a long-range sort of luxury version for $29,500 US. But you can see here the prices are actually relatively similar in China to the XPeng G6. Is it as good as the G6 when it comes to software? Well, the answer is I don't think so. Now, it does have Huawei's new software, which is pretty good. It does work quite well. But we know that XPeng is the only real manufacturer in China that has similar level of software that works as well, if not better in some ways, than Tesla software. And I know a lot of people don't like that when I say that, but it is actually true. The base version has a front motor. It's a 160 kilowatt front motor with 320 newton meters of torque. Pretty similar power to something like a BYD Atto 3, but this is a bigger car than the Atto 3. This is the same size as the G6, XPeng G6, and the Tesla Model Y. So a significantly bigger car than an Atto 3, meaning I think that motor is a bit underpowered for the size of the car, because it does weigh about the same as a Model Y and the G6, which is about 2,050 kilograms. That's about 4,300 pounds approximately. So 2 different battery packs, 66.8 kilowatt hour nickel manganese cobalt pack. That gives 485 kilometers of range, CLTC, so probably about 400 kilometers of range WLTP, maybe 410 approximately. That's the cheaper pack. You can get a bigger 80 kilowatt hour pack, and that is, I believe, the Shenxing lithium iron phosphate battery. That version should give you around about probably around about 560 kilometers WLTP range. So just under what you're getting with the Xpeng G6. Now, it could be a little bit less than that. I'm sort of guessing here, but I would say actually 540 to 560 kilometers of WLTP range. How big is this vehicle? It is 4.75 meters long. It's a bit narrower than a G6 and a Model Y. That's one area here which actually it's a fair bit narrower. It's 1,930 millimeters wide, but it's 1,625 millimeters high. So the height and the length are pretty much line ball with Model Y and G6, but it's narrower than those two cars. Weight, 2,073 kilograms. People are saying it's 100 kilograms lighter, therefore, than the Model Y, but that's actually completely false. Journalists have mistaken that, because actually that is with the smaller battery pack. And with the smaller battery pack, the Model Y and the Xpeng G6 will be lighter than that. They're going to be actually slightly lighter than this vehicle. So this vehicle is actually a little bit heavier than the equivalent G6 and Model Y. The long-range battery version of this vehicle is, I believe it's going to be just over about 2,170 kilograms approximately. So the weight's not too bad. It comes with a 15.6 inch screen, 14 speaker sound system with Apple CarPlay, wireless connectivity, and it also has been claimed by the media to charge from 30 to 80% in a very slow 35 minutes. I think that's false. That's coming from a Thai website. The media have basically taken this information from a Thai website, and I actually don't think that's true. Looking at the Chinese specifications for this car coming from numerous different sources in China, which I suspect are actually the right numbers, the charging speed is actually much faster than that. It'll do 30%, so not 20, but 30 to 80% in 15 minutes, meaning 20 to 80% should take about 25 minutes. Charging speed, therefore, I believe is going to be very similar to the Xpeng G6 at about 280 to 300 kilowatt. That's actually the real numbers here, guys. So these numbers you're seeing 30 to 80% in 35 minutes, I believe that's actually wrong. I believe it's 15 minutes. And we know that the Shenxing battery is one of the key reasons behind this. The Shenxing battery can charge at rates of around 550 kilowatts. So it's not going to charge as slowly as what some of these media outlets are claiming. One of the things this car has is it has the ability to discharge a lot of power. Vehicle to load, 6 kilowatt. And you can actually get a converter for about $1,000, turning vehicle to load into vehicle to grid. So you can send 6 kilowatt back into your house if your power was to go out, or potentially as an energy storage device at night times. That's probably the other second good feature of this car. The battery, the Shenxing battery, plus the vehicle to load at 6 kilowatt. That's about double the average of most EVs. Now, there's one other feature you guys probably want to know about this car, and that is the software. It uses Huawei's Quancun or Chancun, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, ADS 3.0 SE system. This is a vision-based version of the new Huawei smart driving system, and it provides high-speed driving assistance in areas like national highways, urban expressways, and ring roads. It can undertake lane changes like the G6, intelligent obstacle avoidance, intelligent cornering, controlling speed, and entering and exiting ramps. So it's sort of like autopilot, Tesla's autopilot, which is what the Xpeng G6 has as well. Here's the big question. It has intelligent parking, right, which is claimed to support more than 160 parking scenarios, a lot like the Xpeng G6. But will these features come to Australia? Because we know some of these features that are coming in these Chinese cars in China, they are being kind of forcibly removed by Australian regulators. So we don't know exactly which of those safety features the car will get, which autonomous driving aids it will get. We know the ones that the Xpeng G6 gets, and they're pretty damn impressive. Hopefully this one gets some of those features as well. So who are Chang'an? Well, first of all, Chang'an have a brand, Deepal, right, which is this is the Deepal brand, and they sell two different models in China. They sell the Deepal S07 and the Deepal SL03. So what will happen is Australian cars will be made or assembled in Thailand in right-hand drive, because obviously cars sold in Thailand are right-hand drive. That's where these cars will be coming from. It might not happen at the start, but within at least a year or two, all of these cars from Deepal or Chang'an, which is the parent company, they will be built in Thailand. Now, the Deepal brand, they aim to sell 450,000 electric vehicles this year worldwide. And they have some pretty aggressive sales markets, so the pricing could be quite competitive. Looking at Deepal's monthly deliveries, they have grown pretty significantly. I mean, have a look at this, guys. In June of this year, last year in the month of September, they actually delivered 18,000 electric cars. The following month, 16,000. So they're delivering quite a few electric cars every single month, and their sales seem to be growing quite fast. Chang'an is actually one of the fastest growing automakers in the world. And obviously for Chang'an to really succeed, or for the Deepal brand to really exceed, they need to be selling cars in places like Australia, in places where they don't have huge or huge tariffs like in Europe, where actually, unfortunately, electric car sales have declined since those tariffs have been put in place. So they will be aggressively targeting places like Australia, like Thailand, like New Zealand, possibly even Japan. That's a right-hand drive car market as well. Malaysia, maybe even the UK. What are your thoughts on this car, guys? Give me some feedback in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Now, you guys know what I think between the three of these, between the current existing specification Tesla Model Y, the XPeng G6, and the Deepal S07. I personally would pick the XPeng G6 by, to be honest, a considerable margin. I think we know the price of it, the approximate price. It has many features the Model Y doesn't have. It has a lot more range than the Model Y has. It has, to be honest, it's just the clear-cut winner out of these three. But you know what? This could come in, be priced aggressively. It could be a competitor, but personally, I don't really have a long track record for the Deepal brand. I think we need a bit more history, a bit more kind of information about the brand, a bit more sales to see what's going on here, a bit more feedback. I don't really see much information about this brand online. You guys see when I make videos, I do lots of videos about cars coming from China. I've done very few on Deepal vehicles and on Chang'an because, to be honest, there's not that much news out there about them. They could be great, but at this point, we really just don't know.